It's all about understanding really who you are and how your mind works. When you can control that, you can start to create your world on the outside. Your thinking creates the results that you see around you. If you don't change your thinking, none of it will change.
Yeah.
You'll have all the knowledge in the world, and you'll be the same person getting the same results as you've ever got. Your outside environment is just a reflection of what's going on inside of you. If your business is a wreck or it's stalled or whatever is happening in your business is happening inside of you, the way to unlock your business is to unlock yourself.
Freedom doesn't happen by accident. It's built. Welcome to Freedom by Design, where we explore what it really takes to create more freedom in your life, your business, and your relationships. We're Josh and Paula Kirpin, and this is intentional living done right.
Okay, welcome back to Freedom by Design. Josh and I both thought that we should talk to you guys a little bit about Kaizen Solutions and what we offer in terms of coaching and mentoring, and kind of get a little bit of ourselves out there in our program.
Yeah, it's not, this isn't going to exactly be a sales pitch, but it's going to hopefully create some clarity, because we've got a lot of feedback from people who have known us for a long time, and they're like, man, really love what you're doing, appreciate what you're putting out there. Don't really know what it is, but it's cool. I mean, everybody's like, yeah, people call me, what are these guys up to? And everybody thinks you're crazy, but I love it, you know? So we get those kinds of comments, which, going back to our last episode, I perceive as a failure in a good way, right? Because clearly we're not clear on exactly what it is that we're doing. There's some ambiguity, which is very poor messaging on our part. Now I can look at that failure and say, this is no good. We're no good at that. And quit, I suppose, or we can learn from it and rock and roll. So we'll talk about it a little bit more detail in this episode. But again, it's not exactly a sales pitch. It just brings in all the principles that we teach about and give you some more information on what we're all about. So
I actually think of it as good feedback, positive feedback, because people are interested and people are excited for us, which I am just so grateful for our network and our friends and family that are supportive of what we're doing and really are encouraging us to step out into this realm of coaching and helping as many people as we can. So, want to just ask you right off the hop, what kind of services Kaizen offers, and the two of us.
yeah, I'll back up a little bit and just kind of explain where it came from, because it was born out of the farm, I suppose, and out of what that evolved into. And it evolved into a business that allowed us a unique level of freedom, I would say, and something that a lot of other business owners aren't able to experience, right? You get stuck in what I call the entrepreneurial trap, where you build something really cool. You've got a unique skill set. You build something cool. You love doing it. People love it. And it grows beyond your capacity to fill that value. And so you start building a team and scaling it up. And that is not your skill set, because you're really good at this tactician type thing, right? And then life just becomes sort of a disaster. But these people rely on you, and you feel like you can't let them down, so you can't step out of it. And it is a trap, right? So we were able to sort of escape that trap. And that's something that I recognized I wanted to do very early on. And I really simply like the challenge of building a business, in particular, a farm that was worth more than the sum of its assets, right? Most farms operate their whole lives and they might get passed down generationally, but if they ever go out of business, they have a sell the assets. That was the value of the farm. They don't really have any systems or anything in place that would add value beyond the assets. And I was really interested in building a business that could operate without me present for a year. I thought that would be really cool. That was kind of my goal. So it gave us a unique level of freedom and the ability to travel and just experience life in ways that a lot of people don't, whether they're not able to or they just don't. I'm not certain all the time, but that they don't step out and do. And in looking at how we wanted to scale the farm, started looking at what we were good at and, compared to our competitors, and sort of leaning into our strengths. And that was sort of what stood out, And so when I noticed that I really enjoyed when people reached out to me for advice on different things. I learn a lot, I read a lot, I listen to a lot. So I've got a lot of different knowledge and I put it to use in my life. So I kind of take that knowledge and it turns into wisdom when you know how to use knowledge. So I've got a little bit of wisdom. So I got the gray hairs in my beard to kind of show that. But I really appreciated the ability to share that with other people, because it felt to me like accumulating all of that just for my own good, like the payoff wasn't there. Like it was cool for us, but I felt like there was just a lot more there. I could give a lot more value through that, and a lot more value through that than through the farm. So through being encouraged by some really good friends, started down this path, and it was incredibly uncomfortable just to put my opinions and myself out there, period. And to think that I had anything that could help people, was incredibly uncomfortable. But it turns out I do have some skills to help people. And it's been a really interesting process, the evolution of it. So when I started, I really thought that it was the business systems and the team that we had built, and the ability to manage the team, and all of the systems we'd kind of put into place in our business. Those were really important, right? But I thought that I could package that up and give that to people, and they would take it, and it'd be like drinking a pill. Everybody likes a pill,
Yes.
to fix their problems. So I would put this into sort of a pill form, package it up, and there you go. You could use it. I'll teach you how to use it, and you could use it. But it seemed to me that it was much deeper than that, right? People's challenges were much deeper than that. You could give them the pill, they would take it, but it wouldn't make the changes, right?
Right.
It doesn't fix the problem.
Yep.
It covers up, it's a Band-Aid for a little bit. So it always comes down to mindset, right? And I had been doing some mindset work for a few different reasons. Like part of it was, through athletics and just trying to learn how to build a really great, robust mindset for baseball, coaching kids. I really enjoyed that part of it. And for my own purposes, right? Just dealing with some anxiety, some really significant anxiety problems at times. I wanted to make sure I understood how I worked and could maintain the machinery of my mind going forward. So I knew how that all worked. And then I started understanding how that fit with the business side of things. And I didn't really put those two things together before, but the reality is mindset, thought is the basis for everything. I didn't understand that. And I didn't fully understand how the mind worked. And once I learned about that, it's like, this is what I need to help people with. This is what I need to teach people. They get this and they can do anything. Like they can build the business that they want, or they could build any other business that they want, or they could pursue any goal they want. You can do anything when you understand who you are, when you understand how your mind works. I mean, you can do anything. So got really passionate about that.
So I think one thing to note is, when we started our farm and kind of built the business up and, had started developing these systems and like doing these things, you really discovered later on that you were considered to be what's called an unconscious competent. So you're the type of person who, persists, who maybe has an elevated level of willpower, who is going to like go through and put these things in place, and kind of developed the farm that way, unbeknownst to you or I. Like we had no idea kind of how that worked. Like it's not that we just worked harder than everybody else. We were able to implement these things, take the action, do the steps, and then all of a sudden, intentionally by doing these things, we were living kind of a different life than most. And so we were starting to get questions like, well, how are you able to do that? Who runs the farm when you're away? Those sorts of questions. And that's kind of where you saw the value in being able to have these systems that we could help people with, but then really being able to step in and help them with their mindset to be able to change all aspects of their life and have that impact.
So I'll explain what an unconscious competent effectively is. It's somebody who basically is able to get what they want. They don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
And that's most competent people in the world are unconscious competence.
Yeah.
There are very few people that actually understand how their mind works and have been able to harness it. I did not understand that, and I was not able to harness it. And it did as much damage as good. I am an obsessive person. That is sort of the root of an unconscious competent, right? Get something that you're excited about, good or bad, but you get something and you fixate on it, like hyper focus on it until you follow through. And it's all about creating basically an image in your mind of what it is that you want or don't want, depending on what you focus on. But in this case, it's what you want, and you just hyper focus on it. You obsess over it, and it doesn't leave your mind. Like, I mean, it almost doesn't leave your mind until you accomplish it. And it is It's a challenge.
Yes.
Definitely being that way. And people like, I'm not so much compulsive. I don't know if I'm OCD. I've not been diagnosed with anything. I don't know about the C part, but I'm definitely O. And I don't know if it's D. I don't know if it's obsessive disorder or not. I love it. Now that I understand it, I can use it.
It's a strength, right, of yours now.
Oh,
Before,
no, it's a huge strength.
he was obsessive to the point where it's like we didn't have much of a work-life balance because he was working all the time.
But it was beyond that.
Yeah.
Like I will get an image of something in my mind. I'll just be daydreaming, right?
Yeah.
And it's daydreamers. That's what they are. I would be daydreaming. So you would, and you know it, it just happens lots. It still does. I'll be there, like sitting at the kitchen table at supper time. I'm not really there. I'm somewhere else. When I was golfing, I was always golfing. Not when I was I was golfing more when I was not on the course than when I was on the course.
Yeah.
I was just constantly going over my swing. Obsessive about it. I remember one time really vividly, I was driving with my mom to Saskatoon and I was young, like 15 or 16. I might have just had my learner's license. Maybe I had my license, but I remember, and I was in the passing lane. I wasn't in the passing lane. I went through the passing lane and started going into the ditch and she kind of woke me up. I was not sleeping. I was fully awake and aware,
Yeah.
eyes open, everything working properly, but I was playing hockey in my mind. I remember it specifically.
Mhm.
I was in the southeast corner of the Keniston rink battling for puck, taking it all. I was playing hockey in my mind. That's like, I had a vivid imagination, but that is what an unconscious competence basically is. It can work on the negative side of things too. You get a thought that you don't like, you can fixate onto that. If you don't have the willpower, which is your ability to focus on a thought that you want to focus on, you can fixate onto the wrong thought and start creating a monster. And that's not good either. I've kind of been down that road too. Now that I understand what I am and how I work, I'm able to like manage this, but you do not need to be that obsessive in order to make this work for you, right? It is about you can build that desire. So for me, it just sort of happens with some things, but you can build your desire for anything if you really want to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. The whole process has been, like I said, we started our farm 18 years ago. And so this whole process has kind of come to fruition. And now with this 100X breakthrough coaching program that we are doing through Kaizen has opened up the door for us to be able to share this information and help, this mindset and business style coaching with anybody. And want to preface to say, because a lot of people ask me, like, do I have to be in the ag industry? Do I have to be an entrepreneur to benefit from this program? Or like, what do you guys offer exactly? And so I just want you to speak to that program and kind of how it works, what we offer, and what we are helping you with.
Yeah, it is like right now, so much of the clientele is either in or from the ag industry. And that's just because of who I am. And that's the type of people that I attract because I am in the ag industry, right? So I speak the language, I understand it. And it is a challenging industry to penetrate for people from the outside because it is a strong culture. There's a different language, and if you don't understand it, you can't speak their language. And there's really some really strong paradigms for sure in the ag industry. And when you have an understanding of that and you can come in and speak to people with some empathy and really understand where they're coming from, that resonates with people. What we do has nothing to do with agriculture.
Yeah.
It has effectively nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with sports, but it has everything to do with all of them, right? We go down to the very base level. If you are in a business, you don't have to be a business owner. You could be a salesperson. This works amazingly well for sales. Everybody, right? It's all about understanding really who you are and how your mind works. When you can control that, you can start to create your world on the outside, right? Your thinking creates the results that you see around you. Everything that you see around you is just simply a physical manifestation of your past thoughts. That's it. If you want it to look different down the road, change the way you're thinking now. If you don't change the way you're thinking now, it will look exactly the same. You can listen to this podcast. You can go to the next podcast and read the books and go to the seminars and do all the things. If you don't change your thinking, none of it will change.
Yeah.
You'll have all the knowledge in the world and you'll be the same person getting the same results as you've ever got.
I think now that's a great point to speak to because there is so much knowledge on the subject of mindset, motivation, inspiration. Like I can think of so many podcasts that people listen to on the regular, but their results aren't changing, right? And
so and they're all good. The information's all good.
No,
there's probably crap out there too, right?
Yeah.
but it's all good
Yeah.
and it's right and it will work. And if you take it and you use it, it'll work. But people don't understand why they won't put it into action. We understand that, right? And that's a large part of what this is about. Our program is about, is understanding who you are, creating where you want to go, understanding what's stopping you from getting the results that you want,
Yeah.
and then dismantling that and building up effectively a new belief system, a new image of who you are, and creating the next version of you. Version you 1.1 is kind of what I like to say. So you are still you. You can't be anybody else, but be the next version of you to get the next version of the life that you want.
If you've been listening to this podcast, you already know something. You're built for more. The 100X Breakthrough Program is built for leaders, business owners, and growth-driven individuals who are ready to stop playing at the edge of their potential and start operating at a completely different level. If you know you're capable of more, but you're still stuck, this is your next step. Let's schedule an instant impact coaching session and see if the 100X Breakthrough Program is the right fit for you. Go to kznsolutions.ca. That's kznsolutions.ca.
Yeah, and I think through the education piece in our 100X program, we have been able to help our clients identify paradigms or their thoughts currently and how those are producing the results that they have currently in their life. And we have the process to be able to help them change that, right? So you have to think of your thoughts and the results you're currently getting. And then if you want to change the result that you're getting, you have to change that thought. And we have developed a program where we can put that thought in and change it over the course of 66 days or however long it takes you. It might take longer, it might take a little less, but we have the ability to be able to help you implement change in your life for that thought so you can see different results. Because I think a lot of times people go into, any sort of coaching or mentoring or even these podcast episodes where they listen and they're like, yeah, I'm going to start and do the things.
Everybody thinks they need a strategy.
Exactly, right? And I mean, I am no different. I thought the same thing, right? I mean, I'm very much a list person. I was just saying this to Josh today. I like lists. I like being able to check stuff off. I like being in courses. I like, going for the 21-day challenges, all those things. But if the thought that it's originating from is the same that you've been operating with forever, you are going to get the same result from that thought, right? And so to be able to help people identify that in our groups has been completely life-changing, and to be able to give them a tool to be able to use to change that thought, to then change the result and to get the result they're looking for has been valuable.
Yeah, so it's like people will come and they'll say, well, I need you to look at my books and find out what's wrong. I need you to know look at my books. Tell me what's wrong with my books. What should I do? I'm like, you don't need me to look at your books. You just need to think differently, and you will look at your books differently, and you will understand your books, or you'll find somebody who does understand your books.
Yeah.
You're just not thinking like a business owner. You're not taking responsibility. You're looking for somebody else to come in and take responsibility for your business because you don't currently have the skill set, which I understand. Build the skill set, invest in yourself, but you need to invest in yourself at a deeper level than just the skill set. The strategy doesn't do it. You just asked, I think yesterday, we were talking about social media content. Should we get somebody to put out more content, or what's the strategy there? And yes, strategy is part of it and that will come, but what's the thinking behind that? Like, really, what are you trying to produce? What value are you trying to get out there? And what are other ways that you can attack that? But it all comes down to thinking. It's not like the strategy's there and we have the strategy. I've got all kinds of tools that I've developed and was like, when am I going to use these? Now I'm kind of shifting gears, but we use all of them because people need them. Like, just how do you hire people, right? How do you identify who you need to hire? How do you hire them, and how do you maintain them? How do you create a good culture in a business? We can do all of that. We can help you do all of that, but it'll be a Band-Aid unless you change yourself at a deeper level. And if you do the change, you actually probably can develop your own tools. You don't need to. We've done them. There's other tools out there you can use. We've got our own tools that you can use. But once you get them into the right mindset, you just start taking the right actions to build the culture. You'll have better meetings with your team. And then your results start changing at a drastic level.
And that's what I am so obsessed with about this program, is that it combines the two things together. So the mindset piece of it, and also the business structure, the documents Josh talked about, we have all of those things. But if we can help you change your mindset at that level, it literally will ripple into your entire life, your family, your relationships, your business, whatever it is that you want. It's going to change your entire outlook on the way that you live your life. And because we are helping you address that portion of it alongside the business portion of it, it is like a 2-for-1 in my opinion.
When you understand who you are and how you work, you then also understand who everybody else is and how they operate and how they work. Now you actually know other people better than they know themselves. And it's like Facebook gets this. They understand this, the people behind Facebook. And it's like, I always make the comment, Facebook knows me better than I know me. Things will come up on my ads that I didn't even know I needed. Turns out I needed them, so I'll buy them. But Facebook knows me better than I know me, right? But they just look at my results and my patterns, and they know exactly what I'm thinking by what I'm looking at, right? When you know how you work, you will know other people better than they know themselves. That will create a great deal of understanding in all of your relationships. Completely change the way that you have relationships with people. It has created a lot of empathy for me. I'm able to navigate some relationships that used to be very challenging because I didn't understand why the hell they were doing the things they were doing. When after we were having these conversations, like, you should do this and you should do this, and they go and do something totally different. Now I get it. I understand. I've got a lot more empathy and I can approach it from a different angle.
That's right.
So the way your family life changes, your work life changes, the way you manage your employee changes, your employees change. It's magical when you understand how you work and you also understand how everybody else works. Then we bring in the mastermind side of it, where you get to now, like, we're building a community of elite high achievers, right? Like I said, mostly from the ag space, but certainly not exclusively. And you get to brainstorm effectively with these people on a regular basis about solving your specific challenges, turning those into opportunities. And the results that shows and how fast that speeds up your results is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I am really wanting to do, and we will be doing, is expanding beyond the ag space. I want to bring more diversity of opinion and thought into this, right? Because the reality is, if you've got a challenge in any industry, okay, if you're a cow-calf producer and you've got a problem out in front of you, or a challenge, and you go to look for the solution, the real solution is probably outside of your industry entirely.
Yeah.
You probably need somebody that's completely ignorant of you and what you do to ask you why you do the things you do. And you need to then actually be able to answer them with an intelligent answer. And if that were to happen, you will find some things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. And that will, like, just turn on a whole bunch of light bulbs. So get a city slicker or a kid that doesn't know anything come to ask you why you do everything that you do. And if you can explain it to them, then you're maybe in a good spot. But if you want to make real change, it's going to come from outside of your paradigm, your box, your comfort zone. It's going to be some sort of outside opinion that looks completely illogical to you. It's going to seem completely illogical to you, but you have to open up your mind to those ideas.
Yeah, the mastermind has been just such an incredible room to be in, and to be able to have that input from other people, a second set of eyes on your business or your challenges. And not all the challenges that people bring forth, often they're not business related, they're personal related or relational, succession, whatever that looks like. But it's just been such an interesting, great room to be a part of, because everybody's bringing their, advice and their tips and tricks and all the things into that space. And it's just been such a magical thing to witness everybody's growth in that area.
And there is just naturally a lot of focus on the personal development side, because everything starts with you.
That's
like
right.
Your business is just a mere reflection of you and what's going on inside of you. Your family is your car, your bed. Like, if I want to know, and this is a trick that I do when I'm interviewing people, like on the farm. If I'm interviewing someone, I'm going to want to walk by their vehicle and see what kind of shape it's in, because if their inside of their vehicle is a wreck, that's what my tractors and my office and my shop's going to look like.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So your outside environment is just a reflection of what's going on inside of you. If your business is a wreck, or it's stalled, or whatever is happening in your business is happening inside of you, the way to unlock your business is to unlock yourself. No different if you're an athlete that's reached a ceiling. I use the same principles with 13-year-old boys when I'm coaching them. We do a lot of the same stuff. We'll do visualization and understanding. I mean, we talk a lot about understanding failure and learning from it, but all the same principles, and understanding that your results are not a reflection necessarily of who you are. It's just the state that you're in at that time, right? So in baseball, like, if you make if you have a bad game, it doesn't mean that you're a bad player, is the idea, right? You can't look at your results and know that that's who you are. You just change the way you think about that, and that's going to determine your results going forward. So yeah, using all the same principles for everything in life, from athletics to business to your personal life. It's just life changing, completely life changing.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I also have developed a women's series called EmpowerHer through Kaizen as well. And it also implements the Thinking into Results program. So the education piece, and then also a women's only mastermind. Because I really found in my previous industry that a lot of women and mothers were struggling with their identity and having a purpose outside of being a mother. And we spoke to that a couple of podcast episodes ago about that mom guilt and not wanting to feel ambitious or striving for anything, but a lot of moms just feeling super stuck. And the same conversation kept coming up again and again. And I said to Josh, I was like, there is a need, a large need in the world today for some support for women and mothers who are trying to find themselves after being a mother and just kind of being in that role solely when your kids are really little and just feeling really lost. So I developed this coaching program to be able to help with mindset and to be able to help women achieve their worthy ideals and push towards something for themselves so that they can turn around and invest that knowledge into their children as well. Because I think if the mom in the household has, that push and that worthy ideal that they're striving towards to be able to live into their true potential, it's just going to turn around and show your kids that you're capable of doing whatever it is that you want, whether you're a parent or not, and to be able to kind of push them forward to pursue their goals as well. So that's been a really exciting addition to Kaizen as well. And yeah, why don't you speak to exactly what the program entails in terms of the content, I guess, and like schedule and time commitment for people who might be wondering?
Yeah, I mean, it's like so much else in life. It is what you get out of it will be highly correlated to what you put into it, right? So we've got different standards of study, but we've got the knowledge study portion of it where you're going to learn how your mind works and how you are getting the results that you're getting, and then how you leverage that information to change the results that you're getting in your life and your business and everything, right? And then there's the mastermind portion. That's a weekly Zoom call.
Yes.
And if you're not on that, they're all recorded. You get access to that, right? And you're also all of your own study at home materials, right? So there's video, audio, workbook. There's more than you can use, more than most people certainly have time for, but it's all there. So whatever you need to use best to get the results that you want. I mean, that's our commitment, is to get you the results that you want, right? It's your job to do the work. We'll show you exactly how, but that's my commitment, is to get you the results that you want. The mastermind portion is, again, virtual meeting. That's a bi-weekly thing, right? So, and they're an hour long, and then there's communication outside of that. It's sort of constant, right? Through the WhatsApp group, just constant accountability and support from the community. And it is very interactive and very engaging, because I've been part of a number of different peer groups, and you meet 3 or 4 times a year, and it's great for the time that you're together and maybe a few days after that, and then it just goes away, right? We get back into life. You really need to stay in these things if you want to make serious change. And this program is about making serious change. You need to stay in it, dive in it pretty deep. Once you understand it, you can just kind of soak. The level of time that it would take you to continue getting a lot out of it is much less once you have an understanding of the material and how it all works. But that consistent engagement there's just no way around it. You can't make the changes without it, right? You can go to any seminar, you can go away anywhere and learn tremendous amount of stuff for a week or a weekend or whatever it is, and come back and your life's the same, because you're still thinking the same. You haven't done the work, the consistent work over time to make the changes that you need to make.
I love that. So yeah, we also have different text groups in WhatsApp that we use for communicating within your mastermind group, and also the entire group as a whole, just for however much accountability or communication you want there. And then we also have our own Kaizen app, which has all of the stored documents that Josh mentioned about the things that we have developed, resources we've developed, and then also all of the recordings for the calls. Any sort of particular information about things are in there. And then you have access, obviously, to Josh and I as much as you need for one-on-one calls and helping you work through specific sorts of problems. So
Yeah, once you know you, once you learn you, you don't need anybody
Yeah.
outside of you, you know.
Yeah.
But there is a level of accountability that you need in order to get to that point. It seems like, and you're always stronger with the help of others, and that is probably the most powerful thing that we're growing is the community of people. And that's the best part of it for me. It's just being surrounded by these people that want to learn, want to grow, and want to become more. That is magical and inspiring on a daily basis. So it's pretty incredible. The one thing is that I get a lot of questions about it's all virtual. I'd like more in person, and I get that. We're going to do in-person events. Those are coming, probably start in the fall of 26 here. But you know, the reality is the what's great about in-person events makes them actually very ineffective for most people because you cannot spend an hour a week with people from across North America.
That's right.
Shaking hands and drinking coffee, right? I mean, you can do it's magical what has been created over Zoom, and the way that you can connect with people is really pretty incredible. There is something deeper about going in person. There's no doubt about it. That's why we're going to do in-person events for sure. But the consistency that the virtual meetings allow is what really produces the results. That's it, right? I mean, you're going to be way better off with doing even an 80% job consistently than diving deep 105% 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go in person, but the power of virtual and the consistency of it has just been absolutely incredible to create the community that we have, and we're continuing to grow. So we're really excited.
Yeah, if you want to change your thinking and change your results, it doesn't matter if you're in ag or athletics or anywhere. Just reach out to us. And this is not the right fit for everybody. It's just not, right? I mean, that's why we have the calls that we have, the instant impact sessions. Let's find out where you're at, where you want to go, and if it is a good fit. And if it's not, you're going to get tremendous value from spending that time on that call with us. There's that much I can guarantee for sure. And if it is a good fit, then definitely get ready to change your life.
Excited to chat with you.
You bet. Thanks. Talk to you next time.
Bye.
We appreciate you being part of Freedom by Design. If this conversation added value, help us spread the love. Take a second to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. The more intentional we become, the more freedom we create in our homes, our work, and our future. We'll see you next time. God bless.